Welcome to one more episode of the Test-Driven Development Screencast, my friends. This is Joe. Hopefully in this video we are gonna wrap up the initial set of functionality that I have planned to have in the application as the initial thing. And then from the next episode we are gonna start working on a backend. And then finally, when the backend is gonna have the functionality ready, we can, the initial set of functionalities of course, we can do this integration between the mobile application and the backend and have this minimum viable product that we can start, that we can have to begin with, and then do some more work like that will be real with real users. Right now everything is in memory, so we are sort of getting somewhere but not really ready yet. So without further ado, let's see where we are, how we're gonna proceed. If I switch back to my to-do, what I have written here is handling error states. Include information for each follower. So that I think this was an idea that I had before when I was saying, okay, if for example somebody is a follower and that the button should say follow back or something like that, but I think it's not very relevant of a feature at this moment, at this point of time. I think just having the basic following and unfollowing, that's gonna be enough. It will do, and then we can just see the posts from the people that we are following. That's enough for the initial version. I mean, we can integrate that later. It's not a problem. We can do that. But for the initial state, it's not gonna be needed. And then remembering the scroll state, I think this is something that is already working out of box and something that we can just verify right away. So let's maybe run the application and see what I mean. So in fact, in order to be able to test it, so now if I sign up with an account, and if I go to the friends, it's empty. So in order to verify the behavior that I want to verify, I will just go into the application module, and then in my user catalog here, I'll just pass some artificial users, so that I'm gonna have some users here. So I'll just scroll down and then make sure that the scroll is being remembered. So I'll say something like, I don't know, friends. Let's create local variable friends, and friends is gonna be I think it takes mutable map of something like string to, now I think some, I don't know, maybe 40 users. And then it needs to be a mutable list. Now the user will have, let's do it like that. We need user it as an ID and an email. So user it at email.com, about user. This is gonna be enough. I'll just run the application. Then I'll create a user. And I do have some friends here. So the idea is that if I scroll here, like let's say to the user 28 to be on top, for example, if I change the orientation, it should keep the user 28 to be on top. But also, if I change the tabs, when I go back, it should be still user 28. And also, even if I, let me see, how can I open? I'll stop the presentation mode for a little while, so that I can open the loccat I think now I can go to presentation again. No. So I need emulator is on user 28. I'll just minimize now the application, and then I would open the logcat and terminate the application. Now if I open it from the recents, it should restore the state, and as we can see, it is also restoring the scroll state. It was user 28 and it's still 28. So what I'm saying here is that the scroll state that I wanted to be remembered and restored actually is done out of box. So I just open the friends screen and let me open in presentation mode. So what we have here is we have a lazy column with items. So basically I haven't said anything about state here, and it works out of box. At least the thing that I want to work out of box, it does. So in that sense I don't have to do any changes. I'll just delete the changes that I've made. Here I did a commit with dependency updates beforehand, so that's all I've done before. Now if I go back to my to-do, remember scroll state is something that I can eliminate. So what we are left with is the handling the error states I meant for following. So when I basically follow and unfollow, if there is an error, we should say that, hey, here is an error. So basically let's focus and do that in this episode, and then we'll be ready to begin with the backend. So I would start from the unit side, from the JVM tests, from the micro tests, as you wish. At this moment, do that functionality, and then maybe also write a UI test for that. So I'll go. I do have something like error or fail friends loading test. So maybe here I think it's not loading. Basically it is let's maybe create new test. It's different functionality, right? Following. So let's create in the friends a test case where I'll say fail friends or fail updating followship test. Followship is not a right word. Maybe fail updating following, something like that. I would start off with a test, and I would say backend error. So I would expect something like friends string state with error r string import error following friend, and that's gonna be my view model. If I open the friends view model and split, close the left panel, then I'll see it's a screen state value. Now let's work towards making this compile. Let's create a view model. The view model is gonna be the friend view model, and it takes a friends repository with, let's say, unavailable user catalog. Let's extract that into friends repository. And what else does it take? It takes dispatchers and also saved state handle. The dispatcher is gonna be my test dispatchers, and saved state handle is just gonna be save state handle. What's the action? The action is view model toggle following user ID. This is irrelevant actually, it doesn't really matter what I'm passing here, so that's why I put this column. I wrap the value that I'm passing. Following ID, something like that, it doesn't matter. And then the last thing is this one. This one's gonna be error updating following. And now if I just run my micro tests, I expect this to fail. Let's watch it fail. And it says that I need to use the instant task executor extension. What's gonna happen then? It fails. And it fails because it says backend exception happened. So how do I fix this? So basically when I toggle following here, I'm trying to update following. I'm calling this, and that one is making call to repository, and the repository throws an exception, so it's nowhere handled. So if I just wrap this into try catch, and here the E is going to be a backend exception, and here I have to say I have to update the state into an error. So I'll have to get the current state. The current state is gonna be my saved state handle, or friend screen state. Then new state is going to be my current state copy, but the error is going to be our string error following friend, and then my saved state handle will be the new state. Let's see if that's gonna work. It doesn't, because it says the currently updating friends is the following ID. So basically what happens is that when I toggle the following, I update the list of toggling friendships. So the thing is that I am adding, because of the loading spinner for the following thingy, for the following button that we were working on the previous episode, I am adding an item in a list, and now that item also has to be removed when error happens. So here I have to say this is the error, but also currently updating friends should be the current state currently updating friends minus the one that we are working with currently. That should make it work, and it does. So let's see if we can check this in. Can detect backend, can handle backend errors when updating following. Now this is of course ugly. We have to, there are two problems. First is this try catch here. Why would the view model be aware of any kind of exception? It's too low level of an abstraction to be held in a view model for my taste. So I would like to move that away from here. And another is this function. I mean this thingy, the catch, I think it can be just extracted into a function. So two things I want to do: extract a function out of this, and then leverage this follow state instead of using try catch here. So let's first create a function. So I would say error following friend, error updating following. That should still work. Let's check this in. Track the function. And then how do I move this? So what I'm gonna do is where I do this call in here, I'll wrap let me do this. In fact, I'll just wrap this into try catch, and basically the call to toggle following has to be in the try. To return try, and then the try should be the old thing that I have, and in the catch I'll catch backend exception. That's gonna be a backend exception, and for backend exception I'll say follow state backend exception, backend error. I'll just create an object in the follow state that's gonna be backend error. I'll move it down. So that should do no harm. My test should still work because I haven't done anything, but they don't. Okay, that's because I'm catching the exception and I'm not rethrowing. So what I have to do is I have to here. So basically I'm not getting into here. I'm catching the exception from this somewhere else and returning state. So I have to here say now that if the follow state backend error updating follow EID, that should still work, or make the test work again. And now I can basically get rid of this thing. That should still work. And of course it does. Now let's check that in. And I would say push the lower level responsibility into a lower level collaborator. Nice. And we can do pretty much the same for offline. Assert equals friends state screen state. Error is going to be our string error, offline error though. That's gonna be my view model screen state value, where my view model is going to be a friends view model, and the action will be toggle following, and again user ID follow ID, something like that. Let me maybe move these two elsewhere. So I'm just making them as class members so I can reuse them. And then I'll repeat the same here. So I need friends repository, I need dispatchers, and I need the save state handle. And of course the repository is gonna be friends repository, but this time offline user catalog. And that is not working. The connection unavailable exception. Similarly here I can just do this, wrap this into try catch, connection unavailable exception, and I should say error update, not error updating following, but I should do maybe just take this, introduce parameter error resource, and now this one was error following friend, and here I would do the same, error updating following ID, but this time pass our string offline error, and that works. So let's see what changed. I've done, I think, 2 steps here. That's something that is noticeable and I don't feel good about that. So the first thing I did, a refactoring on the error updating following. I've extracted a parameter, and then that's one refactoring, and another is the actual try catch to make the test pass. What I should have done is first either do the refactoring and then continue with the new test, or and the new functionality, or duplicate everything in a catch and only then make make that refactoring. So I've done a little bit risky step here, but I think it's not that much of a problem. I just don't feel good about it that I've done this skip. But yeah, let's just get over this time. I apologize about that. So what I'm gonna do is I'll say can handle offline errors when updating following. Good. Now let's do the same thing about this refactoring here. So I'll just move this, yeah, I'll just add this sketch in here. So I'll say catch offline exception connection unavailable exception, and here I would say follow state offline. Create that as an object. That should do no harm, except now the test will fail because the currently updating friends is not being removed because this sketch is not getting into here. So what I have to do is only do is follow state offline, then error updating following, follow ID R string offline error. Now it should work, and it does. Let's commit this, and I would say again pushed the lower level responsibility into a lower level collaborator. What I want to do next is remove this thing. I'll need to work a little bit with this formatting. Let's see. So removed obsolete try catch block. What else do I want to do is, in terms of this refactoring idea, I think I'm okay, I'm fine. There is some duplication here in this view model that I might want to address, like, I don't know, getting the current state, or removing the currently updating friends, those kind of things, maybe some formatting. But that's something that I'll do off camera, because I also want to update the other view models that are currently not leveraging the save state handle to save the things, like in the timeline and in the sign up. That's something that I'll be doing off camera, because I think now that we know how to do it, it's pointless to work on that on camera. I'll just do it. And what else? Yeah, I think here I would extract a function out of this. So I'll say try toggle following, user ID followee ID, and then catch either backend or offline exception, and then this function is gonna be, maybe just make it one line if it makes sense. Yeah. So it's gonna try to do this and then return if added, followed, else unfollowed. That's fine. That should still work. And it does. Extracted a function to align. Just extracted a function. That's fine. What we got now is we are delivering the state, but we have to make sure that now we are also showing these errors. I think I'll just open the friends screen test. So somewhere here I would like to add a test, not that test, so change it for fun, show error when shows, how do I name those? Backend error, yeah, backend error, shows backend error when updating following. Say launch friends with rule. Tap on follow for friend Anna. Verify error, or I should say backend error following friend is displayed. Just make a member function. So I will need to say rule on node with text error following friend, assert is displayed. This one's gonna be the rule activity get string r string error following friend. Now I need to do a little setup here. Let's borrow a little bit the things from above. So I need to replace the user catalog with maybe I can just in-memory user catalog, yeah, in-memory user catalog users, yeah, but I also have to do actually maybe let's just do this. So I'll need a function to load friends. It will just return list of friends, but a toggle following is going to throw a backend exception. So the function that is gonna be toggling the follow is going to throw an exception. So that's the. So let me run all the tests and see how that's gonna go. So when I toggle a following or unfollowing, it should this function will throw a backend exception, and that should show an error in the screen. That should be already handled because I'm handling the friends. I'm reusing the friend screen state, which also has an error, so it will just show an error. So I assume it's gonna just work out of box, and it does. So all these tests, like that, what's the value of having these tests is that we make sure the thing is being well. We are anyway having a test that shows the that the error is being displayed. So this is just additional thing. I think it's okay to have it. I can write also another one for making sure that the offline error is being shown, but since I handle that in the unit tests, and I know, I mean, we have a verification that that whenever offline error happens, we show an error message. I think it's gonna be an overhead to add one more test for that, because we are anyway handling that in the unit level, and whenever there is an error, offline error in the friend screen state, it's gonna be displayed. So I don't think it's very necessary to add one more test. I think we can just leave it as it is for now. Let me just check this in, but also that's in the interest of the time. So UI test to verify the error displayed on the error for updating following. So UI test to verify the error for updating following. Yes, that's okay. So I think that's about it. That's gonna just wrap up this episode. I think that's gonna be enough, and we are already around 40 minutes in. What I want to do is do a little recap on what happened in the previous, so far in this screencast. So I think I'm having about 45 episodes. This is the 45th episode, and the first bunch of episodes were just setting up the continuous delivery and everything, and then starting the project. But in general, if we assume that I use approximately 1 hour to record an episode, and if we say that in 40 episodes I've managed to develop this functionality using test-driven development, so I used 40 hours, which is 1 working week, to come up with these things. If I had the backend ready, and if I was also writing the contract tests, which are kind of, as you will see later on, they are gonna be just simple thing to write, and write the implementation that will talk to the backend. In that sense, we are gonna end up having part of this contract test and integration test that will be checking whether our system works well with the backend. Again, it's gonna be approximately 40 hours. It won't add much to those 40 hours to have that additional check. What I'm trying to say is that in 40 hours in a week working time frame, we've finished pretty much good functionality, and we are sure that we can refactor the things, we can work with the code. We are confident that any change in the code is not gonna create a bug that we won't be able to see. So in that sense, I think it breaks the arguments of saying that, yeah, but test-driven development is gonna slow you down. Test-driven development in long run is letting you deliver more quality, and it's gonna it lets you deliver the things sooner with more confidence. So I think that's a positive thing, and yeah. we'll see how that's gonna go with the backend. Next, I'm planning to start work on the backend, but I do need to do a little bit of a preparation before to see where I'm gonna be hosting it. Should I put that in a Docker or not? I don't know how the hosting goes with for mobile application. It's easy. I just put it on Google Play. With backends, I don't know how that's gonna work. Whether I do I need to do some setup or something for database or whatever. But the good thing is that I don't really have to care about that right now, because I'll just start working on it locally. But I do want to have this continuous integration system set up as well for the backend. That's the thing. But yeah, we'll see how that's gonna go. Maybe I won't be recording episodes for maybe 1 or 2 next weeks, because I also want to do a little break and also do a little research. But in general, we are gonna be continuing with the backend from now on, and when we have the functionalities that we need for the application on the backend side, we'll do the integration, and that's gonna be something that we'll focus in quite later on. So thank you so much for the time and attention. I do believe that this material is sort of valuable for you. All these series that we've recorded, 40 episodes, are gonna be of a great value. So yeah, hopefully it's gonna be even better when we have the backend in place. So cheers, see you in the next episode.